Hey, what's going on everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and in a previous video we talked about modifying the KS0 Ultra with third-party firmware and how there's the PBfarmer and the Tswift model and a number of others. But a problem I was running into is that the power supply that I had connected, which is down here, was not able to sustain even the 568 gigahash version. Even though this is a 230 watt power supply, it's still after 30, 45 minutes, an hour depending, would just power off. Like there was no power whatsoever. And I had that same issue happen on this adapter. So make a note of these manufacturers on Amazon who can provide you a 230 watt power supply, but the quality of the components used are not as good because those might die out. Now the main thing about this video is, should you even bother upgrading your firmware on these things? I think if you push these things too hard, because we are in the stock power supply right now, so the Hunt Key 100 watt power supply is what we're using. We're using a stock power supply. Does a great job, 400 gigahash, 100 watts, or right about like 90, 89 watts, dare to speak. But when you start pushing these things hard, you're really pushing them outside of their efficiency. All right, they just may become inefficient. If anything, just talking about the Tswift firmware, sitting around the 500-ish gigahash range at less than 150 watts is the most efficient one to go for. But when you start getting to 618, 700 gigahash, and you're pulling 200 plus watts, or close to 200 watts plus, plus or minus, then there's really no point. But here in front of me, we do have the 330 watt power supply recommended in the Tswift, Telegram. And this thing is a beast, okay? Congratulations on your SlimQ product. The SlimQ 330 watt supercharger has two type C's, has the barrel plug we need to connect this thing to where we can push this to 700 gigahash. But I'm probably not going to run that. Now, unfortunately, the reason I'm on the stock power supply is because even with the 230 watt power supply, I can't even run the 500 basic one, like the next tier up. It just seems to cut off after an hour, and that's the company right there. Chikuni, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I would just get a good 230 watt power supply. Make a note about this manufacturer and the one you just saw, and just stick with the low tier first one, 500 gigahash, and sub 150 watt power is what you're going to be drawing. Pushing it beyond that is irrelevant. But I'm going to install this and then play around with the firmware, because I really want to test the PBfarmer against the Tswift and vice versa and show you that data. But the main point is, be careful of these cheap manufacturers, because while they can give you 230 watt power supplies, it might not be able to run efficiently for long periods of time. These things are getting really, really hot, very uncomfortable. We showed you in the last video with the thermals, and I just don't think the qualities in these power supplies are that good. But the SlimQ should give us plenty of juice to be able to push this thing at least to 618 gigahash. Whether or not I hit 700, we'll see about that. But it's already got all the thermal mods on it. Showed you that in a previous video. But I just want to get it off the stock power supply. And I don't know, I'll see what I'm going to do with this other 220 watt that's below the desk. But I know this one is dead. So let me know your thoughts. Do you find any reason to push these things past stock? Is it really necessary? I know a lot of people think, as well as myself, it's just super inefficient. But weigh out your pros and cons. Let me know in the comment section down below, and I'm going to get this SlimQ installed right now. You can see the ratings and specs right here, and on the side we got two type C, and then this is the connector we're going to use in order to connect the barrel plug to the KS0 or Ultra Pro, whatever you got overclocking. All these are basically going to be the same, even the AL and the RX0 that just released around the time of making this video. But this is definitely a beast, got some weight to it. Let's finish hooking it up, gonna keep it underneath my desk. These cables are definitely pretty long. I love the braided cable and these little tie-offs, so that way you can cable manage a little bit better than yeah, what I got going on. But anyways, just need to plug this into the box now. It's already plugged into the minor barrel plug. Just note, you know, unlike some of the other ones that we got, the 230 watt, which have a right angle connection, right? This is going to stick out a lot further, so just account for that in your overall setup. But now I just need to plug this in to this side and power on the unit like so. And now I can plug it in on top. And it does have an LED on the front side, but I really look at that too, that same mesh look. That's pretty nice. So this looks like a high quality part, but we're just gonna give it some spacing. I'm just leaving that old brick there for now. Just give it some spacing so we got some airflow behind it and in front of it. Gonna leave it vertical. Because even so, the other one that died, this one's been out here in an open airflow environment, but this one was underneath my son's shelf, and I understand why this died. It probably overheated. The other one, I don't know why it's acting the way it is. I just think, again, it's just cheap quality components. It can only handle so much heat, so much output consistently, and they just die out. So now, just a matter of plugging this guy in. You can see I still got the old 230 watt right there. But there we go. We're powering on. I'm going to let that baby settle in, and next video we'll hopefully have some data for you comparing the Tswift firmware for the KS0 Ultra versus the PBfarmer firmware. I like PBfarmer, but haven't been able to play around with it the way I would like to, because this KS0, or at least the power brick, is being a huge failure for me. So anyways, let me know your thoughts about whether or not you should overclock these things. You know, talk efficiency, talk power requirements, talk power supplies. What's your favorite 230 watt one? Do you get the 300 watt one like I did, or do you just stick with stock, which is what I would recommend? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I will catch you later on. Make sure to hit that like button, get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description. Help support the channel and what we do here. And yes, that's an old Cooler Master heatsink that I have the controller kind of screwed into. Ghetto rigging all around my house. Welcome to it. Anyways, see y'all later. Take care.